Hey, here I am back again. Got my other screen up behind me this time. You this one's my usually I'm sitting down with this one, but had to stand up today because I don't have any desk space for all the shit in front of me. So I've got it on a table in front of me instead of everything else. Well, not many people know that I do, or I did for quite some time, paranormal investigations. I stopped after an incident at a motel a few years ago. Went in, I did an investigation at a haunted place, or supposedly haunted place, and I had put up a tag, do not disturb everything. I went to go to lunch, I came back, and somebody had cleaned my room and cleaned me out. Come to find out, it was one of the maids that had taken all my camera gear. I had a full Pelican case, just gone. Contacted management. Management said, well, they left. They called in saying that they quit. And apparently they had only worked there for, 3-4 days. But they stole all my gear. Management tried to contact them. Person couldn't get contacted. They sent police to the person's home, but the person's home ended up being another motel, and it was under like their boyfriend's name or something, and the boyfriend couldn't be found. So I got screwed there. So I lost a lot of gear, and with that, I'd become disheartened, and I've been building up stuff for quite some time now. But this last tax season was pretty good to me. You saw that I bought the truck. You saw all the stuff I put in the truck. And I had put money towards a new camera and a bunch of new gear. Now, I've still got a bunch of gear coming, but I just wanted to do a little quick dive into what I've already, come up with again. Start off with, I've got two different types of multimeters here. This is, your standard. This is what you see on all paranormal hunting shows. Everybody's seen one of these. Everybody. This, same thing. This one chirps. This one tells temperature. It's got your little side reader so you can do anything you want. Now, I do have the ghost meter coming. The clear one with the red light on top, and the bar gauge or the needle gauge instead of lights. I do have that one coming. Still waiting on it. They're shipping it whenever they can, whenever they get product in. So I'm waiting on that. I do have my original HD. This one says it's 1080p, but we all know that these guys are never what they advertise. But this guy is really nice for an action camera. This is what I used to have mounted facing me when doing my standard, investigations, so that I could see through the camera. I'm looking through the camera, and then I could have this so it could see me and behind me. That way, people can't be like, oh, you made that noise, somebody did it behind you. This always had my back. My trusty T-bar. Attached to a cold shoe, and you get two cold shoes. Now, this is what I was using for the longest time. I'd mount this on top of my camcorder, and I'd have a standard light like the one in front of me now, and then I had my other light, my infrared light on this one, and then I could, have the extra lighting. I could turn on this one and I could adjust it high, low, and whatnot. These always help. But I've got a new one, which is going to be going with my other mount that I have, because I have a newer cage coming with a top handle. So when I get that in, this guy's going to get attached to it. Now, I've got two of these. I've got one with four rings. Then I have this one. This one, I'm going to pull off the centerpiece. I'm going to mount my cold shoe attachment to this, slip that on. Gives me a wider base to attach to than my other one. Now, like I said before yesterday, I modified the camera. See, this is the newer base that I had purchased. I mean, that's that guy. This is the battery for the vertical shot, so you could take it and click your camera that way. Now I had modified the actual port for that Canon camera. Now all I did was, see how you got this nub on the bottom? All I did was use an X-Acto knife to nip that part off. And I pull this up. Now, when I want to use this, I can use this, and this goes in its little hidey hole here. But when I don't want to use this, I just want the small camera, I can slip this in, lock it in, and close it, and I'm off to the show. Just off. It's nice little, change up. This locks right in there, stays put. That way you always have it available. You just slip your batteries on. This one got dual batteries. And what I said before is you can take this. You can pop one battery out. It'll still run off of just the one battery for the camera. You pop the battery out, you swap in a new one. You pop the battery out, you swap in a new one, and you're away. You don't have to stop filming. You don't have to stop taking photos. You just, pop the door. Oh, I'm taking photos. I'm snapping photos. Pop the door. I can pull the battery out, pop another one in, and still take photos. That right there can save your bacon. Especially, if you're running an operation, paranormal hunting, batteries drain. It happens. With one of these, if you see in your camera that your batteries are draining, you can pop this open, pull out a battery. Just pop the battery out, continue going, pop in a new one, and away you go. Absolute savior. Now, you saw the lights that I was working with, and these are my infrared lights. There are two different ones. This one is the 10-year anniversary. This one is the original one that I had purchased. This company no longer exists. These are the ghost lights. These are the original ghost lights. This company no longer sells these lights. These are powerful lights. I could have done my entire night shot with just one, but I chose to run off of two because I just had to test the setup and I wanted to see, angling. Because when you have these on the standard cold shoe, they sit proud, they're straightforward, and they just shine in one spot. But with these cold shoe attachments on there, I can turn them slightly so that I have two hot spots that meet together in the middle. That way I have one big oval. But I've also purchased the other type of, the one that you see on all these shows now, the LN03 paranormal one. It's the wide lens infrared. I purchased two of those. They're on their way. Like this whole season is just thrown off because nothing is shipping the way it should ship. I've had issues with stuff going all the way up to Canada when it left out of Las Vegas, and it's like it should have been here the day after, but it went all the way up to Canada. So there's a bunch of stuff there. And as we all know, I do have my thermal. Now I keep this in my Movo case because I don't use the Movo. little tiny microphone anymore because it broke. But my thermal, this is a full-size thermal camera in here. This is my little micro camera, hooks up to my phone. I can see full clear images of thermal. That's it right there. That right there is your thermal camera. I've got all kinds of gear coming like crazy. I tell you what, once I get set up with this new outfit, I won't have issues with stolen property or nothing like that. Now, as per usual, I always run lithium batteries. Always got buttloads of these. I've got like 50 of them in the pack. And then I've got a whole bunch of these 9-volt lithiums in my little carry cases. I've got multiple of these carry cases. 9-volt battery fits right in there. Protected so you don't short them out. So there's no issues of batteries connecting inside your pack and starting a fire. I mean, it's like one of my biggest fears is, setting a fire in a bag. I've got tons of chargers for all of my lights. I mean, this is for my Canon battery. 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 Now, I've got another one in here. This one is my K-Star or Caster battery that charger. This is for my camcorder batteries. Now, my camcorder, like I said, like I was talking about, this is my very first infrared paranormal camera. That's my first one. It's completely unbranded, but it works great. It's something lightweight. I can, shoot and do lightweight stuff with it. I can do low shots. I can, flip it around, do my selfies. But it also had this beautiful light right here. You kick on this light, this thing is ridiculously bright. The only issue I ever had with this is this right here is the built-in infrared light. It gets extremely hot. I've burned myself on this, and I am surprised that the plastic doesn't melt. The one thing I'm actually debating on doing is taking this down to one of our local camera shops and having them remove that infrared LED and replace it with a different one that's not going to be burning hot. But I've got chargers, I've got plugs. That camera works with this. This is my little mini or micro USB to headphone jack. This is how I used my microphones with that one. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of gear here. I've got lavalier mics. I've got extra flashlights. I've got infrared flashlights that shine a straight beam of infrared light for those long hallways. You see in all these ghost videos and paranormal videos, the person's shining and the light only goes so far because there's nothing to bounce it off of. I've got infrared LED flashlights with an adjustable beam so I can shoot the light up to 200 feet. Up to 200 feet, and you can see all the way out. I've tested it with the night vision camcorder and my Canon, so it does work great. Those run off of huge batteries, and I've got a couple of them charging over there, a couple of them charging over there, so I've got that all settled. But I've got battery after battery after battery. Let's see, we got these ones here. I've got 2 in the handle. I've got 1 in the camera because I was just shooting with it, and I'm going to be taking them out. I've got silicone on the way, and I'm going to make little silicone booties to go over the caps of these so nothing touches them and shorts them out, and it protects them from getting dust on them. Another thing I'm getting in the mail soon is more memory cards. I've got a few memory cards right now. These ones are 128s, and then I've got 64s. I've got some others over there, but I'm getting 2 terabyte cards and another 512 gigabyte ones. So I'm going to have plenty of memory. Now this case, I love this case. Let's see. Oh, what do we got? Yeah, there it is. This thing cost me like $6. Hard case, waterproof, silicone seal, foam interior. Works great, and you've got 2 micro SIMs for every 1 SIM card. See? So you can fit a ton of SIM cards in here, or SD cards, I mean. But I've got tripods, lights, I've got all the gear. I've got a new case coming because, when I started putting all this stuff together in this new backpack that I got, this new backpack is too small. I mean, it's about, shoulder wide by about yay high, but it's about that thick. I mean, it's not big enough. It doesn't have all the pouches that I need. Now, can I dwindle some of this stuff down for each individual investigation, each individual adventure? Yeah, I could. But I'd rather have everything available at a moment's notice. I can put all this stuff into one bag and be away. Now, another thing that I forgot that I have coming is I have a REM pod coming. I have a new one coming. My last one was the original, the very first REM pod that they had designed. Big, gaudy looking thing. That was stolen too. But I've got a new one coming. Will it work? I don't know. Won't it work? I don't know. Some of this stuff you really don't know. But I'm getting every piece of equipment that I can muster up, and I don't care if it doesn't quite work. I don't care if I've got to do all this stuff on my own, but I'm gonna do it because it is a passion of mine. I love paranormal investigations. I've done it for quite some time. I've got my new SB Spirit Box. See? I've got this. I wish there was a 5th setting, because it only goes up to 4 for speed. I wish there was a 5th one. That way you could really narrow it down to, paranormal. Because, every now and then it'll stop on a radio channel for a split second, like it's supposed to. I mean, if that's how ghosts work, we don't really know. It's still, it's still a test. But I've got HDMI cords. I've got headphone splitters, microphone splitters. I've got everything. All I need is a good group to get out there and work with. Will it happen? I don't know. Will I have to do everything on my own? I don't know. But who knows? I can't tell the future. If I could, I'd be a millionaire. But I just want to break down a little bit of the gear that I've gotten so far. And this here is my new pride and joy. I've got the battery piece removed right now because I've been using the big battery for a while. But you've got your flash, you've got your settings and everything. Now, with this camera, all the 8 eyes and 7 eyes and stuff, they all have that sensor cleaning thing. Go into your settings, turn off the automatic sensor cleaning. Just turn it off. If you gotta clean the sensor, pull this off, clean the sensor, call it good. Just stop doing the automatic, because then this thing, it'll brick. You will not be able to use it again if it just keeps locking into that thing. You pull the battery, you have to wait for the internal battery to die. And that's horrible. But this thing is amazing. And another thing is, when you have this camera set to just camera mode and you flip out the screen, it's always got this goofy menu on here, and there's been a few people that are commenting, how do I get that menu off? This little button right here, that little guy right there, that turns off that menu and brings this to a live view, because it turns this off. It closes this aperture so you can only use this. Usually when this is open, this shuts. Somehow they decided, oh, it's a good way to do that. Let's just put that off that way. It's like, no, why would you do such a thing? If I've got this screen flipped, it should automatically switch that. It should switch that on. Granted, it does your little warning thing saying, oh, your batteries are clearly not for marked Canon. There's the menu I'm talking about. There. See? That little button right there. People don't understand that that's how that works. That little button turns this off and this on. Now, if it's on camera mode, that button is disabled. Or if it's on camcorder mode, it's disabled. If it's on just camera, see, it's automatic. That's your button. See, now I turn it off, it goes off. It doesn't go into sensor cleaning mode or cleaning mode. It doesn't get locked in it because I've got it turned off. It's like, I hate that mode. But as I was saying, this is an 8i. This is for the 7i and 9i. Because Canon, for some reason, said, you know what, we don't want the door to be removable on this particular model. I trimmed off that one nub. Now I have this. I can shoot like this. I can flip it. I can shoot. This comes with the wire plug. You run it from here up to here, right there, and you can do your photos this way, so you have that nice, portrait stand, or you can shoot like this for your landscape. This is a nice, bulky, big, it's a big camera, but it's not really that big. It's not. Now, if I go get my other camera, this thing is a gigantic camera compared to that one. My red one is, that big. You take off all this top stuff, all this bottom stuff, it's that big. It's just a little guy. But this thing is amazing. Life Pixel is absolutely amazing. They do great work. And since I found them, I'm actually debating on getting a second camera and having it switched to the infrared, and not full spectrum, just infrared. That way I can have infrared and full spectrum. But I mean, this thing is amazing. I love this camera. But now that I've got this, paranormal investigation is going to be a lot easier because I don't really have to worry about anything. And it's like, if I have to go anywhere, I can take my bag and go with my bag, and I won't have to worry about stuff being stolen. I mean, I lost good $4,000 in equipment, and it was gut wrenching. It was horrible. But I mean, all you gotta do, trim off. I trimmed off this top one here, and that way I can pop it out, pop it back in. But you know, give them a shot. Take a look at their stuff. Go to their website. You know. Now, hopefully one of these days I can get hooked up with one of these paranormal groups. Maybe one of these days I'll post my own paranormal video so people can see what I do. Because I don't... Well, when I was doing the paranormal stuff, I wasn't posting those videos because I was doing it for like families and stuff. And I didn't want, family's private business out there. So I kept that all to myself, kept it all to them. I'd give them, copies of everything. But with this gear, I'm going to say hell with it. If I can get a good paranormal show going, then I'm going to do that. I'm going to, show more. Because, I've got to get out of this repetition of, I'm working on a vehicle or I'm working at home. I'm doing, work on the computers. I gotta get out again. I mean, hell, my last outing video was me going up to my property and clearing it from homeless people. And before that, I mean, God, I don't even know when the hell that was. But I've been kind of locked down with this whole, everything going on. And now that I have almost all my gear back, now I can get back into it. I can get back into the role of things. And maybe one of these days join in on a hunt. But I'll see you guys later.